Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
Hello, 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 Naybell, Vicky, sorry, Beverly. John's not feeling well. I think he's gonna recover tonight. John, you're green. I'm sorry. Maybe tomorrow, Pink. Beverly, nice to see you as always. Streamlabs. Streamlabs. Where are these Streamlabs? I don't really want to add another thing to my list to check on, but apparently I'm gonna have to, or maybe Vicky, Streamlabs gonna show up. They did. Great. Hector, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Did I borrow the eyeliner from John? No. I didn't. John borrowed it from me. No, I did just reapply eyeliner. I probably should have gotten rid of this under eye part. But you see, I'm not a lady. I'm not a real lady. Anyways, Cellulite Yoga Pants, lovely to see you. And thank you for dropping by, Hector. Make sure to hit the like. Thank you, Brooklyn. Let's go ahead. We're going to travel by Flu Powder all the way over here, where, thank goodness, the TPOs were split into 2 different hearings today. So I heard, so I see, based upon what is before me. And we are going to skippity-doo-dah day all the way through this case with a interpreter. And we're going to stop right about here.
My understanding is largely that the Mr. Rizvet, is that how it's sort of a...
I think this is where we're going to start.
Is the interpreter
Ms.
free to
Garcia.
go? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hey, guys. If you're just getting here, tell me what you have for dinner. If you didn't like what you have for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. I haven't made dinner yet.
All right, so next we're going to have sort of a combined hearing, which we are able to do under the procedural rules, given the totality of the circumstances here. So we'll call Ms. Fisk and Ms. Hollis, who have filed 2 separate petitions, both against the same respondent here, Jeffrey Rizvet. So I'd ask the petitioners come here, over here. There's two seats here on my right, your left, and Mr. Is it Rizvet? Mr. Rizvet? Is that how I pronounce you? Yeah, here on the left. Okay.
All of those sound good.
All right.
Lamb gyros,
So I appreciate everyone's patience. I understand the hearings can go a bit long when there's interpreter services needed. So hopefully, we can we'll not keep folks here for the rest of the morning. And I won't go over the ground rules again. So what we'll do though is, I don't want, I don't want Mr. Rizvet to be sort of inundated with things he'll have to respond to. I've reviewed everything. My understanding is largely that the petitioners are alleging some similar activity, and that there's at least one incident that all parties are really stressing as something that was a catalyst for these hearings today. So I think just for simplicity's sake, I'll allow the petitioners to go each of you provide testimony, and then I'll ask Mr. Risvet to respond. I'll also make a note up front. I understand that there's been a number of folks in the community who submitted letters on behalf of the petitioners. I have reviewed those. I'm not considering those as part of my decision. The rules do require that declarations be sworn under penalty of perjury. There's some specific statutory language that is required for that. So I'm not able to consider those. For what it's worth, witness testimony needs to be necessary and material to the outcome of a case. And so while some of those letters, I think some folks expressed their feelings about what's going on here, I wouldn't really consider them anyways part of this case. So I want to make that up front. So for the petitioners, if you want to just stick to what's in the petitions, I know Mr. Resvet has, in his response, did ask that a number of materials submitted by petitioners not be considered. I'm not going to consider the letters. I do think it's fair to consider, though, some of the pictures and videos that have been uploaded by both. I know both sides uploaded videos. I think as long as everyone has had notice of those, and I understand we were here last month at a hearing that was reset. So I think everyone's on notice as far as materials that have been uploaded separate from those letters. So I will consider those, and I do think those are important. So without those caveats in mind, which I guess I'll just go here in alphabetical order. So we'll start with testimony from Ms. Fisk. Okay, you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth and the whole truth?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, ma'am.
I'll admit I don't really know where to start. This has
Well,
been
and-
going on for about 8 months.
Right, and if maybe it would be helpful to refresh as well.
Yeah.
Again, I've read everything. So what I'm looking for in testimony is just a top line summary. You heard me go over the definitions before. What I'm looking for is pattern of behavior, after someone's been given clear notice to stop, that causes substantial emotional distress. So if you want to keep your comments tailored to what I'm looking for there in a more of a summary fashion, recognize I have read everything. And so again, this is really my opportunity to be asking questions. So, but I'll give you that chance to kind of summarize.
Okay. Well, this whole situation has been extremely stressful. I suffer from PTSD, insomnia, anxiety, depression, and all of those have been severely, I don't know how to phrase it. It's affected me a lot. The longest I've gone without sleep is 8 days. I pace around my backyard constantly. I have 3 cameras. I even have a mesh thing that covers my windows because of the constant light shining in my windows and the stalking, or that I have felt that is stalking. He gets his partner to drive around and take videos, photos, play loud music, even before 10 a.m., where most of our neighbors are sleeping. Flip us off. We went on a walk one night, and so this is why I don't walk around the park anymore, because he followed us. It was Tammy, Kyle, and me, and we were walking.
Is this
and
the
he-
February 4th incident where the police were called?
No, that was earlier on. I want to say in November. It was one of our first walks since he started harassing us, and we were trying to feel more comfortable. And then so we walked around, and then he's proceeded to turn his light off and follow us, which is for me terrifying. And ever since then, I've been on edge, looking everywhere. Like, I don't know where he is. I've walked out of my RV before, and he's been right on the trail right outside. And I don't feel comfortable. Like, I have a dog, and I used to walk him everywhere. I can't even, it's terrifying for me to even leave with him, and I don't know if anything's ever going to happen. So my husband has taken that job on, and I just feel isolated, and I can't sleep. I rarely ever leave my little spot. And no matter how many times we have asked him to stop, we have done it over text, in person. He's even dragged his grandchildren to the food stand that we worked at and tried to talk to us there with customers around.
So if I may stop you.
Yes.
So when you say we've asked him to stop multiple times,
Yes,
what behavior are you talking about where you've asked him to stop?
for the most part, leaving us alone. We really don't want any contact. We don't want him coming into our areas. We throwing rocks at our sites, trying to hit me with their cars. I can't walk or do anything without being harassed at this point.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Ms. Haltz, if you could please raise your hand. Do you swear from testimony you're about to provide is the truth and all the truth? Okay, go ahead.
Well, this is like she said, this has been going on for months. I don't sleep. I don't feel safe walking in the park. I've gotten 2 cameras and a taser gun. It seemed to get worse right after my husband died. And at the end of July. Since the last court
Neighbor
date.
harassment, as far as I can tell, MB. Baby. So nice to see you as always. Honestly, haven't watched a lick of this. Have no inkling of what's coming. And Kay Burns, I have not seen Judge Sanders in a while, but I will admit that I have not been keeping up with Cowlitz County Court. Time presses on. Dwight, nice to see you. Okay, let's continue on because I'm sort of interested to see. We're gonna see him. Apparently, he's harassing 2 neighbors. She did the exact opposite of a top line explanation, which is unfortunate. What the judge wanted was like very basic, and she proceeded to like drill right down into like her feelings and how it's making her feel. So let's see what he can or we can pull out of the rest of this.
His girlfriend has been driving by, recording our site, loud music, like 3-4 times a day, flipping off the cameras. She doesn't have to drive by our area at all. I'm scared at night. I don't know what he's gonna do. He's been seen behind my trailer at 3 o'clock in the morning with a flashlight. I don't know if he's gonna set my trailer on fire. And I don't know if you need them. We did bring witnesses with us today. But yeah, I'm scared. I'm having anxiety attacks again. My friend has been staying with me for a couple weeks because I can't sleep. And we've asked him to stop. And there was some sexual harassment. The last incident, he latched onto me and started kissing my neck. And I told him no. I told him no to all of his advances. And then we just told him to leave us alone. But if we even leave our trailer to go for walk areas, no matter what time of day, and he's following us and we're scared. And it's pretty unfair to feel like a prisoner in your own home.
Thank you, Ms. Haltz. All right. All right, Mr. Risbet?
Yes, sir.
All right, over to you, sir. If you could please raise your right hand.
Sure.
Do you swear from the testimony you're about to provide is the truth and the whole truth?
Yes.
Go ahead.
First,
Oh no! Oh, as soon as I saw him, only for that split second first, I was like, oh, I am getting creepy vibes immediately off the bat. Allegedly, in my opinion. What is happening? That escalated. She took it from 0 to like 37 in the majority of her time, and then from like 37 to 100. You know what I mean?
I'd like to ask you a question, a procedural question, and make a statement about my evidence. I have a video the night that they attacked me, which was the February 4th night.
Oh my God, they attacked him, Casey Carey. You're moving. You got your own place. I'm so excited for you. If he admits to a kiss, it is done. I agree, MB. If there was any sort of lip touching Lip touching. Any lips touching. I think this is already a weird thing. First of all, did he ask the procedural question? I don't think he did. Secondly, off to a hot trot. That's what I would say. Off to a hot trot, Shane.
And I went to the library trying to figure out how to submit my video in a format that the court would accept. I was able to have the librarian help me transfer my video.
We have your video.
You may only have the audio part.
We don't. We have the whole.
You have the video that shows Marcy hitting me. That part.
Yeah, I won't
Okay.
comment on what's in, but yes, I've seen the whole video.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
audio and video.
I guess that was my point that I wanted to clarify, because I have the video. If you were not able to see the full video, because when I turned it into the court clerk, he said I was able to upload it, but it appears that only the audio.
If it's the incident
So-
from February 4th.
Yes.
Then yes, we've been able to see it.
So I appreciate that.
Mhm.
I appreciate that you have that video. This has affected myself, my partner, and my grandchildren. Obviously, I've heard what they've said, and I appreciate what they say, that they're upset about this. I don't have texts. Nor do they. I don't have text because the text that they sent me, the last day that I received a text from Tammy was in August of 2025. That day, I deleted contact with both Tammy, Marcy. I even deleted my dead friend, Jamie. I deleted his name. I didn't need his contact in there anymore either. But I deleted those contacts. I thought I archived the messages. They went to my cloud, and I've received a notice recently that says after 30 days, deleted contacts are permanently deleted. I can't even bring those back up. I wish I could. I have no idea how to get those from the cloud. And if they do have texts from my number, I would like to see those. I haven't seen that evidence at all that Tammy has talked about.
I don't think there's been evidence on either
Yeah.
side of texts.
My other statement, and then I'll talk about how I feel. My other statement is, and I appreciate the fact, Your Honor, that you're not allowing testimony or sworn statements, unsworn statements. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Your Honor, you can go ahead and allow them, because really all they contain is hearsay, moral judgments, and people's personal opinion. And I think that you may have addressed that. So really, they have no evidence. There is no evidence. The pictures and video and everything that they're going to show shows prior planning on their part. It shows a conspiracy. And it shows actually that they waited. They had the opportunity not to assault me, and they still chose to do so. The video evidence that I submitted contains harsh language on both parties, from them and from me. What it doesn't show is me yelling and screaming and hollering, because that didn't happen. What it shows is Tammy saying, "I'm not drunk." I didn't realize at the time, when I listened to it again it occurred to me and I realized what she meant. And so I'm going to have to accept that as the truth, that she was not drunk. But what that tells me then, Your Honor, is that she was fully aware and fully in control of her faculties, that she knew what she had planned, that they waited for me, as another video will show. She was fully aware that what she was doing was wrong, and they continued to do it, and it ended in an assault. From that point, they have lied. They've lied to the police. I'd like to point out a statement that Marcy made in her sworn statement, or in her statement, where she says, I must have somehow convinced the police that she was violent. My rebuttal to that would be, I don't think I convinced them. I think when the police saw my video, that convinced them that she was violent. I've not included all the evidence that I was able to uncover, because part of it, I think it happened so long ago that it can't really reflect on true personalities. But I did discover that there have been protection orders filed against the other party. I've discovered that one of them has gone to prison. They want to talk about my past bad acts from 25 years ago, Your
Well,
Honor.
so, right, and so let me just kind of focus in here. So I'm not looking at past acts. You know, the rules of evidence don't
Thank
apply.
you.
I am able to take a broader view of things.
Thank you.
But maybe this can kind of help here. So it seems to me the allegations kind of fall into a few buckets. And I'll kind of address the ones that I think most likely fit into an order, but I'll let folks respond. And the first one is the allegations of shining a flashlight into the petitioner's home. So, that's clear in the petition. There's been some still shot photos that I'll ask the petitioners to sort of explain how they know that's what makes them believe that to you. But so I want to start there. Do you have any response to the allegations that you've been shining a flashlight into their homes?
I do have. First, I don't do that. Second, if I do walk around at night, I do carry a flashlight, as most people do. And in fact, I think one of the suggestions that Miss Rita has posted is that we carry flashlights after dark.
Yeah, and I'm
So I
speaking
do.
specifically about shining into their.
No.
So, and what I'm going to do here is kind of go back and forth on specific instances. We stay focused a bit. And whoever wants to speak to this, everyone's under oath at this point. So do either of the petitioners want to address allegations that specifically Mr. Rusvet is shining flashlights inside your house?
I've had this happen a lot. It did die down a little bit until the last power outage, and I don't remember the exact date we had that in that area. But right after 10 is when he first showed up or showed up again after a little bit of not doing things. And so this is when we started going to the office and they started telling us that we needed evidence and stuff. So we did stand out there from time to time with cameras or with our phone. And then we bought cameras because we're not outside all the time. And then I found out because of the bright light he keeps, my cameras aren't registering him when he walks by. And I don't really know exactly what that has or why that is. So
When you
now
say
I have a
bright,
light.
when you say bright light, do you mean his flashlight or a bright light coming from his home?
No, his flashlight.
His flashlight.
He has a really bright light that reaches pretty far and that lights up my entire RV at night, even when the lights are off.
Okay.
So I'm like, I do know it's him. He's the only one that has done it. Even when we were on friendly terms, he would repeatedly do that. And I asked him not to.
When you say that, do you mean using the flashlight generally and it's just so bright it's lighting up your home, or do you mean pointing the flashlight at your home?
pointing the flashlights directly into my window.
Alright.
Not just, I mean, they have been down my pathway as well, like he stands at the end of on the road and flashes it down there. And that is why there are some nights I have been outside waiting for him to either throw rocks or shine lights or come into my area.
I'm just trying to understand the
Which
case,
we have
Billy,
been
but
told
of course
by-
I'm stoned. What weed am I smoking? Mac Daddy 1 or something? It's yummy. Interesting. Muy interesante.
The owner herself to get cameras and to record him if we can.
Ms. Hollis?
I've had the same problem with the flashlights, and you can look out and see that it's him by his dog and his, his light's really bright. You can tell that it's him. And since we put up the cameras, it's been starting to happen behind my trailer instead of out front, because you can see the camera lights in the windows.
All right, and again, I want to be specific, because I recognize this is at night. I imagine there's not a lot of light pollution where you all live. And so this is, you're alleging he's shining it directly at your home. not
Directly
just
into my
using it out
windows.
on the road.
Yeah, just all over my trailer and all of the windows.
And then, so I'll keep with the two of you, and then I'll return to you, Mr. Resvet, as next. You've alleged that he throws rocks at your residence as well. What makes you believe that's him? How often does this happen? Have you asked him to stop?
Well, because when we were on friendly terms, he had jokingly was like, "Oh, I've been doing this to so and so's trailer and blah blah." And at first we really did think it was a joke. Most of the stuff he said, he seemed like a jokey kind of person. And then we found out a lot throughout the time of knowing him that even though he's joking, he's actually serious about these jokes. And so there's been times that I've been outside in my backyard and he's walked by, and then I'll hear something hit my car and I'm like, oh, well, there's Jeff again. And I haven't been able to catch him on camera, but I have on one of the videos. It wasn't a very great video, but you can hear, it sounds like a large rock the night that we petitioned and went to court, like the first one, not the last one. Him throw a large rock at my RV. And since then, he's been doing it to her. And I have also since then, I've gotten a camera for my back area because I don't have any vision.
Right. And again, your belief that it's him is sort of the timing of the petition.
I've seen him.
You've seen
Haven't been able to get him on video, and the few videos I do have doesn't have any. It's dark.
That's okay. I'm really, when I'm asking about this, I understand you all have videos up, and that's fine. Your live testimony works too. So what I'm really looking at is if you've personally observed the things that you're alleging.
I have.
Yeah. Okay. Both with the flashlight and the rocks.
I definitely have.
Yeah, and he also, there's one of our witnesses that came today. He was throwing rocks at her trailer as well. So we knew that he did that, and she had caught him doing it, saw him through her window.
And so, Ms. Hollis, you're also saying you personally witnessed
Yes.
Mr. Resvet shining the flashlight and throwing the rocks. It's not just based on
No,
after the fact, kind of this. Okay. All right. Any damage to your property or cars, homes?
not yet.
Okay, so it's just you hear the rocks.
Yeah, and then you'll see him walking away.
Mr. Resvet, your response. You can talk about the flashlight allegations, the
Sure.
rock allegations.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I have, right now, probably 4 of my own flashlights in the trailer and 2 flashlights for my grandkids. And I do have a rechargeable light that has a pretty bright beam, but I can't adjust the spot to make it small or large. It's one size. And if I have that flashlight pointed right down the road, the beam is so bright that it'll illuminate the sides of the road or like the little shoulder of the road.
Yeah.
But I'm aware of flashlight etiquette, and I think most people are also. And I know I've talked to Max about that. Max is one of the co-owners. We've talked about flashlight etiquette. In fact, he even asked me about flashlight etiquette, and I observe flashlight etiquette. Something I even have helped my grandchildren learn about, which is we try not to shine our flashlights in people's property.
Flashlight etiquette.
Um,
Can you
and
speak to and I know you've denied the flashlight
Etiquette.
incident.
Sure.
I think I haven't. Can you talk about the allegations of throwing rocks?
well, it's untrue. My perspective and my point of view and what I have witnessed, and I'm sure it probably had happened long before I had lived there. I was over at Marcy and Tammy, or Tammy's. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was at Marcy and Kyle's house one night. And we were getting ready to go back to my place, I think, to have a fire or something. But we were getting ready to leave. We had all been drinking. Marcy was intoxicated. And she reached down and picked up and threw a rock at Shannon's. And I said, "What are you doing?" First off,
Well, I want to just, if you're getting to something related to the current allegations, that's
I am.
fine. But I want to keep it on
sure.
more recent. They're alleging you throw rocks into their
I
lots.
think that I was just trying to respond to what they had said and trying to show that it's a projection onto me of what they actually do. But really, there is no, I mean, I could summarize and get to the bottom line. There's no video of me throwing rocks at people's house. There's
Well,
no
and
video.
And I don't need the video. They're saying they have seen you do this. And so is
Yes.
it just a flat? Sounds like you're just flat.
Okay,
denying
I
that
see.
they've seen you.
Yeah, it wasn't me, Your Honor. In fact, Marcy is the one who throws rocks.
All right, back to the petitioners. You've alleged that Mr. Resvet has been onto your lots, separate from the road walkway, but on your lots, and refused to leave after being asked to leave. Can you talk? Can each of you talk in turn about that?
The night of the police call, he refused to leave, and I was already on the phone with Tammy before he came down. She knows I've been pacing my yard trying to get him on camera because it's very hard to get him on camera, it seems like. So she came over because we saw his light flashing, and so we waited right next to my car, which at the time my husband was gone. And our areas were we park one car and then another car and then my RV, so it's like a decent space. So we were far away from the road. Anyways, we were talking, we knew he was coming. At that time, I didn't think I needed to record. I usually waited till he like stopped and started flashing his light to start trying to record. But anyways, he was walking up the road and Tammy and I were sitting next to my car. He started coming in. Well, first he noticed us. He seemed surprised. Then he came at us and we were like, leave. There's no reason for him to be in my area.
Okay, and this was happening on your lot.
Yes, in spot 60. We did submit a picture of actually
The
two
map.
pictures of the maps, yeah. And he refused to. At that point, we did start yelling, leave, and I got my phone out and started recording him. And at that point, he's backing up into the road, and you can see at the beginning of the video him backing up and then getting his phone ready to record stuff.
Prior to that incident, had he been on your lot and asked to leave?
Yes. He has, well, in the beginning when we didn't want anything to do with him, like at some point I had been trying to find a way to distance myself. And I thought I was lucky because he was like, well, I need space. And I'm like, cool, then leave me alone, And after that, he started kind of coming up to me, apologizing and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want anything to do with you. And so one day I believe he was dropping off my grinder, and it's still sitting on my steps in a little bag he put it because I don't understand
Her weed
why he
grinder?
would have done that. But we asked him to stay away from us and to not walk into our area.
We meaning the two.
My husband and I.
You and your husband. Okay. All right. And Ms. Hollis?
I've also asked him to leave me alone, stay away from me. And it's like every time you turn around, he's walking by or he's standing somewhere close by you, videotaping you. The incident on the video where he claims to be assaulted, you can clearly see me getting in between him and Marcy because he was grabbing at her.
And I want to stay away from the video and just, I'm thinking, I want to know more about prior
He came into,
communication about not wanting contact, not coming onto your property.
right after my husband died, he came over and we were trying to talk to him about his inappropriate sexual things that he was saying and doing to us. So he was on my site then, and we made it quite clear that he needed to stop and leave us alone, and we didn't appreciate the comments or being touched. And there was another incident.
And let me just, when you say not appreciated, I understand that. Again, as I kind of said at the beginning, what I'm really looking for too is comments that are not appreciated, but then notice to the person to stop communication, to stop unwanted behavior. In addition to being something you may not have wanted, can you talk about communicating that to him?
He was told several times and he didn't know what the word no meant. He doesn't listen. And we've complained to the office and they keep telling us to get him on camera. And now he's just, every time we see him, he's recording us. And now his girlfriend's driving by recording our trailers for no reason, just harassing.
All right, Mr. Resvet, over to you. Specifically with, again, I'm looking at allegations that you've gone onto the property of the petitioners after having been asked to not go there. And speaking with them, having physical contact. I think Ms. Hollis indicated that after being asked not to. So if you want to address those.
Sure. I have not spoken directly to them until the night of February 4th. I've not spoken directly to them since probably
Sir, I know it's my Friday night,
August
but you are
7th or
operating
8th.
on a Monday. Oh, it is Monday. He's operating on a slow Monday schedule here.
I can tell you the comment or the conversation I had with Tammy on August 5th, her birthday and my girlfriend's birthday.
Is this a time when you're around when you may have expressed to him not to talk to you after that?
That was a couple of weeks before one of the incidents where he latched on, started kissing my neck, and it was 5 days after my husband died. So I may not remember that entire conversation.
Okay, all right, I'm just trying to get a
But
sense.
he was told to leave me alone.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Mr.
The night of August 5th, when I went over to talk to Tammy, I had texted and said, I want to come over and talk to you. And the reason I wanted to come over and talk to them is because my girlfriend, my wife, I call her my wife, but my girlfriend and Tammy share a common birthday. We went out to dinner, unbeknownst and coincidentally, Tammy and I think her friend's name was Edie, had gone to the same restaurant. I didn't see her. My daughter did. She said, why is Tammy staring at us from the checkout counter? I said, what? I grabbed or took one of my grandchildren out, and my daughter took the other grandchild out to try and see Tammy so we could say, hey, happy birthday. Hope everything's going well. Happy birthday. Didn't catch that. So but I knew that Tammy had seen me. I wanted Tammy to make sure I wasn't ignoring her. I wanted Tammy to make sure that I recognized it was her birthday and to say happy birthday. When they say that I was asked to leave and I didn't want to leave, Tammy at that time told me 2 months after our initial, when she claims that I initially started making harassing comments to her, 2 months after that. And I thought we had talked about it. Everything was fine. I'm the type of guy that goes on. I apologized. We go on. 2 months after that, on August 5th, Tammy told me that she was still holding a grudge, But she was still angry about the way that I had acted when I was deep in my throes of alcoholism, that she was so angry that she couldn't forgive me 2 months later. At that time, I said, my mom treated me like this. I don't accept this kind of treatment from people. If you cannot forgive me and go on, and 2 months later, you throw this in my face, I said, we don't need to be friends. And I attempted to leave. By that point, Marcy had come over. I think Tammy had texted her, Jeff's being mean or something. Marcy had come over. I was leaving. I was attempting to leave her property, Tammy's property. She got up, she held on to me. I said, Tammy, get your hands off. Marcy was in the background, and I heard Marcy say, Tammy, just let him go. I had to physically take Tammy's hands off my arms so that I could leave. I've had no further contact. Let me amend that, Your Honor. A few days after that, my grandchildren were coming over. My grandchildren loved Tammy and her husband, Jamie, and my friend Marcy and Kyle. They loved them. Marcy and Kyle used to come to the playground and play with us. They'd meet us downtown at playgrounds to play with us. After August 5th, I did approach Tammy and Marcy at their stand, at the food stand. And I said, the kids are still asking about you. I want to let you know that the kids are coming over tomorrow. I want to pay for their cotton candy today and the tip so that we don't have to deal with this tomorrow. I can just have the kids come up with somebody else, with Katie, somebody. Here's my money. They took my money. The next day, I went up just to make sure that everything was going to be fine. Tammy was there and she said, Marcy's not coming in today. You know, I was disappointed. I knew my kids were going to be, the grandkids were going to be
So
disappointed.
this is around August?
Yes, August, probably 8th or 9th. I know it was after her birthday, a few days after her birthday.
So it sounds to me like around this time in August is when I'm kind of hearing there was some clear expressions to not speak with the petitioners, not to go into their property, turning back to the petitioners. So now we're looking at sort of that August forward. At this point looking at that time frame, Mr. Rizvet communicated with you, gone onto your lot, things of that nature since August 5th. Okay, both indicating yes.
Yeah.
Can you give me some examples?
Well, I don't know if this is exactly very helpful, but at some point when we take our dog on a walk every day, but I stated that I felt uncomfortable. I usually go there's a camping area that's completely empty when it's like in August further on because, well, it's too cold. But anyways, we walk around there and my husband ended up taking that job for me. And he's Risvet went to the office at some point, was saying some stuff, and then proceeded to tell the office that he was going to call my husband's job. And then he proceeded to walk around the tent area one day, and my husband was trying to ignore him. And he was like, I called your job, I'm going to get you fired and stuff like that. And that harassment, little comments and little like throwing rocks at our RV, walking by, staring us down, this creepy smirky smile that he does a lot.
How about comments sort of directly at you? Has he talked to you since
Then I
August or
have
gone onto your property?
gone out of my way to ignore him. He has tried to apologize from time to time, but I literally I don't say anything. I just keep walking.
Okay. All right, Ms. Hollis.
I've seen him veer off of the road intentionally and walk in my driveway. Where we live, the campsites are kind of back to back and you have empty spots on the sides. And he feels it's okay, even though they're really close to our trailers, to walk in and out of those with his dog. which makes us both very uncomfortable because it's right next to us. And he knows, I believe he knows what he's doing.
All right, last thing I want to cover here is there's been allegations, Mr. Resvet, of you from the main road, it sounds like, filming
Mhm.
them.
Yes.
What are your response there?
I have done that, Your Honor, because I felt like almost a tit for tat, and I know that's immature. But they want to say that I keep walking around their area, that I walk in and out of their neighbors' campsites. Tammy has neighbors on both sides of her. They're not empty sites. Sure, her neighbor on her south side has been there as long as I have, I think, Your Honor. Her sites never, those sites are never unoccupied. But yes, I do videotape them because I wanted to be able to show that since I'm not walking around there, and Tammy has said this to me, stay on your fucking side of the campground. Since I don't go over on their side, I wanted to videotape them walking by my house repeatedly. I don't go down the center road behind their house because I think it's too close to their house and I don't want them to say, oh, Jeff's harassing us. But I do notice that there have been times when their neighbor across the street drives by my house and 5 minutes later, they're walking down the road behind my house, laughing and talking and blowing bubbles. So yes, I have taken pictures of that. I did take a picture, a video one day when they were standing out in front of the shower and I was wanting to go down there and could not go down there.
Okay. Dwight, thank you so much. Did he just say that he took a picture of them in front of the shower? Oh, God. This is a case of you just shut up because we were all on their side or on his side to begin with a little bit, and every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, ooh, that's a little bit crazy. I'm confused though too. It's just a weird ass case. Thank you again. Thank you again. Creepy meter rising. Also, just a few things are a little strange.
Because I didn't want to come face to face with them. So really, I mean, they want to say I shouldn't be doing this or I shouldn't be doing that. I take videotapes to show that they're doing what they want me not to do. I do have a rebuttal statement for something that Marcy said about her husband, Kyle, and I know he submitted a statement, so I did want to talk about that.
Okay, so I'm not considering that because he's not a petitioner. And so I'm not considering that, so we don't have to go down that road. All right, so here's where I'm thinking at this point. There's a lot of allegations, and it seems like, frankly, most of the animosity here is with respect to things that Mr. Resvet is doing in an area where I don't really have any control on the main roads here. Y'all are neighbors. I can't evict him. I can't issue any orders that prohibit his use and enjoyment of his own property. And so I can't tell Mr. Resvet, don't walk your dog at night. Don't, as long as he's on a public road, even if it's at night, even if it's, at times that make folks uncomfortable, there's nothing I can do to prohibit that behavior. What I can do is, it sounds like the petitioners have made it clear to Mr. Resvet that they don't want any contact, and that they don't want Mr. Resvet on their lots. And so, with respect to that, coming onto their property, having contact with them, I do think that they've met their burden on that front. That there's been an express notice that they don't want any communication. And it does sound like I recognize that there's a lot of friction in some relationships where it sounds like there may have been some friendships before that have soured, and that it is sometimes difficult to understand when exactly no contact is wanted at any point anymore. And it sounds like that may have been the case here, but it does sound like from what has been submitted, and again, I'm just reviewing the sworn testimony and the sworn petition, that there was some communication to Mr. Resvet not to contact them or to go onto their property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign an order prohibiting contact with the petitioners. I'm not going to put any kind of geographical restriction on excluding or staying away from their
Faked out by the
property
big
because I
D,
recognize
not
your
a big
neighbors,
D.
and I also recognize you have a right to be on the public road. I can't do anything about that. And so what it's going to specify is you're not allowed to go into their property, onto their lots. You can go onto the road, which is not their lots. And you can't have any contact with them, direct or indirect. So no, it sounds like your girlfriend may have a relationship with them as well, or in that, you know, a spouse. So no indirect communication. It just sounds like stay out of each other's business. Don't go onto their lots. Don't communicate with them. I'm not restricting your ability to go where everyone else can go. Sounds like in this community, there's a lot of walkways and
Although it's on
areas
his
that are open to the
record.
public.
That's as,
Again, there's
it's
nothing I
as
can
good
do
as
about that.
good.
If you think that he's breaking some of the management rules, some of the rules of the property, you know, that is a conversation for the folks who manage the property. I can't enforce, you know, noise restrictions yet.
What about him recording us every time we drive by? Because it's a one-way. We can't stop from driving his direction. It's and there's two ways to leave,
Mhm.
and they're
Medium
choosing to
rare.
go our way. So
Right, so again, he's able to leave the
Yeah.
area the way he wants to. Now, so as far as him filming, you know, number one, and this is not a criminal case here, but it is a crime to record people without their consent. It is different when you've got a Ring camera or something that you've installed, right? Because that doesn't pick
Yeah.
up audio, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I'm still a little unclear as to is the allegations that he is going up to you, either of you in public and recording you, or is it that he's on his lot recording when you go by?
Well, it's both actually. He's been caught doing it in his area as we're just driving by, and the most recent incident I can think of is she was doing her laundry, and she was driving by the field, and he was busy recording her as she drove by. It's a very public area.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, so as far as him recording folks from his property, there's nothing I can do about that. The same as you all having a Ring camera, you know, you're able to sort of, when you're on your property, you're able to do things like that. And so again, you know, audio and visual recordings of folks, when they're in public, there's not much I can do about that. Now, you know, if it gets to a point where you think that this is you being monitored, you know, that could be a different story. You know, that is where you get into the legal definition of stalking. It's not just the occasional recording somebody.
I do feel like we're being monitored every day, though.
Right, but it's difficult because you're also neighbors, right? So to the extent that you see him at night walking his dog, that he's recording folks from his property. I mean, you're neighbors. And again, I can't evict him. He's going to be living there. So that's
The
where this
burden
gets a
is
little
higher
difficult,
and different.
is you're going to continue to be neighbors.
Well, yeah, we've
So-
run into the same problem with the office people. They're hoping for certain kind of things to be able to go through a process.
Yeah, but what I can do again, where I can act is on somebody's personal space and personal property. And so for that, you know, so I will issue orders protecting, restraining Mr. Resvet from talking to them. Sounds like at this point, there's been a clear break. And so there's going to be no communication with either direct or indirect, you know, that includes no physical contact, and exclusion to not go onto their lots.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, I can live
A
with that.
medium
Okay.
D.
Yes, ma'am.
To be clear, does that mean that Katie can't harass us, flip us off?
No.
The girlfriend?
This does not involve her. there would need to be, ma'am, is that you?
Of course it is.
Ma'am, okay, but that kind of reaction is not helpful. No, she's not a party to this, and they
Okay.
don't have any kind of legal relationship, it sounds like, so.
Well, that figured since they live together and they've been together for a very long time, that they're both doing it, and I believe that he's keeping track through her.
You would need to petition against her. But again, the order is direct or indirect. So if you have evidence that he's indirectly contacting you through somebody else, that's also a violation of the order. So that's going to be on here. So it's do not attempt or have contact, including non-physical, direct, indirect, through third parties. Period. So that would,
was
if you
strange.
think there's indirect, so for you, that's part of it as well, right? Is you can't tell your
Outburst from
girlfriend
the
to talk to
gallery.
them or anything like that, or,
May I ask a question?
yeah, one, and then I think we're gonna be, let folks go. Yep, go ahead.
They've stated that I record them as they come in. They record us as
Yeah,
we
and
go out.
I noted that, and that's why I'm not addressing that
And,
issue in the order.
The other thing is that my wife drives a really small car
Mhm.
there are 2 exit routes.
Right. And you're allowed to use the exit routes.
There's one entrance route.
Right.
Okay, I can't stop them from going past my house.
Right.
I can't. I don't go past their house.
Okay.
I have a big truck. I go up the middle. It's potholes. It's like this. Katie's car sits about this far off the ground. And to go out the exit loop on theirs is the smoother route. It takes an extra minute, but Katie doesn't have to deal with the potholes.
Okay.
But I have one more thing to say. It's not a coincidence, Your Honor. They want me to stay off their property, and I don't go on their property. And I think you've seen on the video that I wasn't on the property. It's coincidental. I can't prove it. They're not the only ones with security cameras, Your Honor, however, but Katie's car was vandalized the other day.
So we're not gonna get into that right
Okay.
now. Orders have been issued at this point.
Sure.
They'll be available to folks later this afternoon when I complete them. And if you have
Sure.
any questions, you can reach out to the civil department. All right. But that'll be the order of the court. You're all free to go.
So will that order include restrictions on them also of not contacting me?
No, it's a one-way. You would have to petition
Okay.
against that. All right, thank
you.
you all.
Thank you.
Courtney, your line. It's your line. Not that kind of line. Next, Judge. Imagine if that was your
Nope,
line.
everyone stop.
Stop.
Hey, Katie,
Oh,
no.
Stop. You start talking
I-
shit
Nope,
to me.
nope.
Can I hear you, Rhonda?
Yeah, I meant stop in the sense, don't talk to each other. All right, you're all free to go.
No, I'm waiting for them to leave.
All right,
Sorry, Your Honor. Thank you.
that's all right. All right, thank you both. All right,
Dwight. Do. Thank you so much. We got to go back and listen to Katie say, "Do you talking shit to me?" That's what she just said. Listen.
hey, Katie,
Stop.
no.
Katie, Stop. You start talking
I-
shit
Nope,
to me.
nope.
Stop.
Stop.
Can I hear you, Rhonda?
I meant stop in the sense, don't talk to each other. All right, you're all free to go.
No, I'm waiting for them to leave.
All right,
Sorry, Your Honor. Thank you.
that's all right. All right, thank you both. All right.
Yes, thank you, Dwight. Oh my God. Next.
Okay, next we've got. All right, Michael Rika and Rob Schaefer, no
Michael.
present.
Michael. Where are you, Michael?
And you may, are you going to be helping him out?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to sit on your left.
This is my daughter, and then her husband, my son-in-law, is right there.
We're gonna.
All right, now this is, well, folks get settled first.
You're good. And then we're gonna send this straight ahead.
Okay, cool.
All right,
He's
now
got a
this is
Geordie
primarily
LaForge
for
type
Mr.
out thing on his face, like from Star Trek. I'm dating myself here by saying that. Judge looks like he could use the same thing right now. But
Schaefer.
Yes.
So I frequently exercise at the YMCA on Plum Street, and I believe I recognize.
what? Oh my god, this is so fucking bizarre. Every part of this is bizarre.
Primarily for Mr. Schaefer.
Yes.
So I frequently exercise at the YMCA on Plum Street, and I believe I recognize Mr. Rika. Rika, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
And we don't have a relationship. I think I may have helped you once or twice. Just letting you kind of saying hello, letting you know what was in front of you, things of that nature.
Hi,
Thank
thank you.
I know you've all been
Dwayne,
sitting here
10
all morning.
months.
If you're
Okay, so he's blind, and the judge helped him at the gym because he's blind and he's a nice guy, and now he's like, well, you didn't know who I was because you're fucking blind. Is that what's happening? What a unique... First of all, Dwight, why didn't that show up? I believe in it. I love it. Thank you for 10 months of support. Wow, too much fun tonight. I know. I know. Secondly, thank you. Thirdly, is that the implication here? Also, is there a separate level of implication when the one person can't see and therefore identify the person necessarily? Oh my god.
uncomfortable with me hearing this case, I would be happy to recuse myself and step away.
No,
and
just
we
as long as I can say what happened as he came into the complex when he first moved in, because that's how our friendship developed, and it's important for the case.
Okay, well, I want you to feel comfortable.
I'm fine, because
moving forward
everybody
as-
helps this man.
Okay,
I honor this man.
all right,
I've had the whole time I've been in his company.
okay, all right. If you feel, I mean, are you pointing you now, Mr. Rika, comfortable with me hearing
Yes,
the case? Okay, all right. Okay, well, you've now been here through a couple of hearings, so I won't go over the ground rules again here. So Mr. Wright, and I'm sorry, it's Rika.
Rika.
Gosh, yeah.
All right.
Rika. All right, Mr. Rika, I'll swear you in and you'll go first. And sir, before we, you can put your hand down, I'm sorry. You're here with your daughter. Ma'am, do you want to put your name on the record just so we know? who you
Yeah,
are?
my name's Kendall Tuttle.
And so Ms. Suttle's present with you. Sir, Mr. Rika, is there any other assistance you'll need today as far as moving forward with today's hearing? I don't believe there's any exhibits that need describing, but is there anything else that you would need?
Gregor Tuttle, my son-in-law, he might have some words to say too. I don't know. But otherwise, no, I'm good.
Okay, you're all right. Okay.
I will say that he's not able to really go
Hi,
online and
K9.
submit things, and so that's why nothing was submitted. And he also hasn't viewed anything if anything else was submitted by Rob or.
I'll be right back, and
Okay.
it's not quite over. Don't
All right.
you
Well,
worry. We're
he
just
did,
starting this
Mr.
case.
Rob Schaefer did submit basically a response
Okay.
letter. And so again, if you want some time, we can reschedule if you want to
I think we're okay, right?
look at that.
Yes, let's move forward. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So in that case, Mr. Rika, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth and the whole truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Oh, where we start? Rob has a tendency to grab me. Now, as a blind man, as you probably witnessed,
um, it's a vulnerability. It's a huge vulnerability. And that's why I'm kind of the resident athlete, if you will, at times. And
Hold on, this is a blind man case where he's attempting to grab a blind man? Yeah, I need a drink too, Judge. What the fuck? What? Oh, did we enter a time warp? Or like an alternate universe or something? Something's. Ugh. This is even crazy for Thurston.
And so I tend to go to the Y on a daily basis. I have not gone to the Y. This year I went January 4th and I went February 4th. Those are the only 2 days I've gone this year. Prior to that, I went every single day of the week. And mainly because I'll walk outside my house and this man will grab me. And I'll walk to the store and this man has grabbed me at the store. Or I'll be walking across the street. I can specify these more in detail, but I've walked across the street on Fairview and Legion, and he's grabbed me as I'm listening for cars because the only way I can cross the street is after the, I'm constantly listening for cars. I didn't hear him pull up next to me and then I didn't hear him get out of his car. All I know is that as I'm trying to walk across the street, I get grabbed from behind and and every time, maybe the first couple times I didn't tell him, get off me. But after that, I've said, get off me, don't touch me, quit grabbing me. The last time I was taking my trash out, someone else takes my trash out now for me, but I was taking my trash out, walking back at 10 yards, 10 meters away from my.
This sounds criminal. Oh my god, I'll take an ass grab. I'll take an ass grab.
My porch is a dumpster, and I'd walk to the dumpster, throw my trash away, and now I'm listening, and it's a ghost town because I'm listening for him because I know that he's going to grab me if I miss it. Anyways, so I get back to my walkway, and I miss it by a couple inches, a foot, whatever it is, I don't know. And which is an easy fix though, because I take my cane, and which my cane is just an extension of my arm, and I feel my way over. But I missed my walkway by a little bit, and he grabs me. I didn't know he was there, and I yell. I'm hoping to catch some people coming out of their apartments or something, just so they can witness it, because I'm yelling, "Don't grab a blind man! Get off me!" And so those and I've switched my route from my house because I used to go straight through to the street sidewalk, which is a grassy knoll area about 10 yards again, from the sidewalk to the sidewalk of the city sidewalk to the apartment sidewalk. And so there's a 10-meter grass between there. So I walk 50 paces from the church driveway and 50 steps. And then I'll take a right or left face, I'll toe the line at the grass, and then I'll walk straight across. I'll miss it every time, but I don't miss it by much. And I'll make those easy corrections, and then I'll get back on the sidewalk. But I had to change my route because over and over and over again, he comes running over and grabs me because he hangs out in his van or they're on the parking lot. And
May I stop you and ask a question?
yes, please.
How is it that you know it's Mr. Schaefer?
Oh, I can tell his voice.
Okay.
And
does he ever tell you? Does he ever introduce himself?
he said it's Rob or something. Yeah, but
Right.
mostly I hear his voice.
And
He's the only one on the planet that's ever grabbed me.
okay.
I have people at times that will say, help me across the street, or police officers that will help me because I wander off into 4th Avenue but before they touch me even, or city workers, they'll say, sir, you need to step to your right. I'm going to grab your arm or something. They'll let me know. They don't just grab me. This person's the only person on the planet that grabs me. And it seems like he grabs me every time he gets around me. Now, I don't
Yeah,
have
why
eyes.
is he
so
touching him more than once? He should never touch him again. This man ain't your business anymore, sir. That's fucking weird. Double weird. Always ask before you touch, and don't be too much. And what he's saying is that there's been many people that have eventually grabbed him, but they always say first, hey, oh, excuse me, sir, you need to step to the right. Would you like me to help you? I can grab your elbow. I could help you. That's how you do it. If, like, I have to say, if I heard this and I was helping somebody regularly and I, for some reason, thought that was, I would be fucking mortified. I would be beyond mortified. Otherwise, why else would you continue to do it if you're just mean? That's so weird. You can't be mean to a blind person. You shouldn't be mean to anybody. But most especially...
You have eyes, they just don't work.
my daughter's not, actually, my son-in-law's not. But so I don't know how, where is that at any time? So I just,
Can I ask you another question? So
Please.
you mentioned that there was it sounds like a period where you may have kind of gotten a little angry and you let him know, don't touch me.
yes,
And now I'll ask him to kind of speak to what he put in the letter so that you have the benefit of what he said as well.
yes.
He also referenced an incident about 2 months ago, which I think you may be talking about the same thing. When would you say you clearly told him, please, please don't touch me anymore?
Time-wise,
Yeah. Can you think about how long ago that was?
year ago or
It
so,
was about a year ago.
maybe longer, but yeah, at first, at first I was going with, I was just like, okay, he's just trying to help. He doesn't understand the barriers, and after a few times it's happened, I just, my intensity grew. And then that last time it was,
Okay. All right. So thank you, Mr. Rika. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Schaefer now. I'll let you respond. And if you could, I don't know if you have it in front of you, the letter you provided.
Yes.
I've read it.
I'm gonna add to it, so you know the
Yeah.
situation
No, I've
when
read
he
it.
moved in.
And I think it would be helpful for everyone if you want to it's not too long, if you want to just read it
Sure.
first as well, so he can hear what you had to say.
This was a misunderstanding. I've known Mike since he moved into the Olympia Village. He still had his sight. We became good friends. We spoke scripture. I felt like he was my spiritual brother. Over the years, I helped him along with another disabled gentleman named Jim Blevins, who no longer lives there. There were many times when Mike would get off his path and I would call his name and gently place my hand on him and guide him back to safety, and he would thank me for his help. Also would help him with food, showing him what food was what in the area where the food was. The last action that happened with Mike was 2 months ago, when in front of his place, I saw him heading toward a rose bush that has these sharp canes with these stickers. And I attempted to stop him from falling by placing my hand on his shoulder. I did not grab him. I placed my hand on his shoulder to stop him from getting hurt. And that's when he exclaimed, "Never touch a blind man." And I knew I could say no more because he was angry, so I walked away. This is the only thing that ever happened. I never followed him. I never grabbed him. I never harassed him in any way. In fact, most who lived at the village would look out for him like I did. So this is very upsetting to me to take an action like this or over helping.
Oh my God, this is like a Washington village. Not the villages, be clear. Not that villages, but a village. I think it's a hat, Courtney. Yes, I had to restart the chat. The chat was broken on the screen. I think it's like a hat with like a cord. That's what I believe.
Somebody from being hurt. I'm saddened greatly by this because I thought we were friends for many years. And I helped this man, only to be treated like this is very sad. Because I need to add this in. When he moved in, we made friends fast. He came in a Jeep. He was working construction as a carpenter. And
oh, good
he
Lord.
told me
Is
his
it a
story.
front rat tail? Is that a front rat tail? Oh! I think you're right. Oh my God. I think you might be right, Courtney. Oh, that makes me uncomfortable.
That he was in the military, that he was the top mixed martial artist in the world. I had utmost respect and honor for this man. And then he told me he was a preacher and we spoke scripture. And I felt like this connection, I was proud to call him my friend. I helped him for many, many, many years. I always looked out for him. And he told me he was going to lose his sight when he first came in. I was devastated because I wanted to help him. I wanted him to train me what he knew through this mixed martial arts because I was just like, I was infatuated with that. And so I went to my computer and I found this one man named Dr. Wallach, and I gave him the information. The only man I ever knew that I talked to about Mike's condition, this detached retina.
And if I could just.
Okay, well,
I
okay,
understand
so I'll
the
move it along. I'll
context
move
of
it
the
along.
relationship. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I've always looked out for him. I told him when this happened, I said, I got your back, man. I'll watch out.
So
and
what
make sure.
what I'm curious
And
about.
he gave me his Jeep.
Okay. All right. So
And
what
then his family came along and wanted it back, and I gave it back to him.
Right.
But I never, the whole time I ever knew this man, I always honored him and respected him.
So Mr. Schaefer, if I could come in and ask you a question. Mr. Rika has indicated that about a year ago, he's saying he communicated to you that he didn't want to be touched. Sounds like you
Never happened.
So you're denying that
It
conversation
never
took
happened.
place.
I was too busy with the woman I'm living with has edema and her foot blew up like a basketball. And I had to work with that. I had no time for anybody else after that. Jim was gone. I always dedicate my time in this place to help people. I come from my heart to help people. I don't try to traumatize people. When I did traumatize Mike, I felt so bad when I was trying to keep him from getting hurt by that rose bush that I didn't talk to him for 2 months after that. God said, leave him alone. He'll come around and we'll be able to talk. It never happened. My heart hurts over this.
So do you
God
acknowledge
said
that, or I shouldn't say it that way, this rose bush incident, did Mr. Rika during this
That's
incident
when he told
communicate-
me,
Okay.
don't ever touch a blind man.
Okay.
And I couldn't explain to him what I was trying to do to prevent him from
Right.
hitting this rose
Okay.
bush.
Okay.
And it hurts me so bad because I didn't do any of these things that's claimed in this petition. I never did any of them.
So Mr. Schaefer, I'm sorry, Mr. Rika, back to you. Since this, do you know this rose bush incident he's talking about?
Yeah.
So since.
Yeah, I don't know the rose bush because I never touched it,
Okay,
but I know
since
the
that-
incident.
Okay, since that incident, has Mr. Schaefer
No,
touched you
he
to
has
your
not touched
knowledge?
it.
Okay.
But you don't leave your house anymore.
But I don't leave my house anymore either. And if you go to the gym, you know I haven't been there. And there's a grocery store incident where I made it. I got my groceries, and it's a whole ordeal with it when you're blind. I got
I
my
think it's-
groceries. I
I
got
think
through the
he
check.
might have enough to put an order in place possibly and just say, if he gave the last girl's one, just tell him not to touch the blind man, let the blind man go back to the fucking YMCA. Judge is gonna be there, alright? He's got fucking eyes on the sitch. Allegedly.
Checkout stand. I got almost to the door, the south door of Ralph's, and I get grabbed from behind. And then he grabs my cane and jerks my chicken cane out of my hand. And he says, "You're gonna knock over that plant." I'm like, "You need to let go of me. You need to let go of my cane and leave me alone.
And may I ask, I want to make sure, because one
This
thing that-
happened a few months prior to the last incident. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so one thing that I want to, that it's my job to make clear is that, you know, a lot of times, especially when there's some friction in a relationship, there will be something like, get off me, I don't want to talk to you, things of that nature. That's in context seem more fleeting. And one of the things I have to do is make sure that someone has clear notice, especially if there's been a prior friendship or something like that, some kind of relationship, that the person, it's clearly communicated that you don't want any more contact at all. This is not like, get away from me, I don't want to talk to you right now, that sort of thing, but a clear break in the relationship where you do not want contact anymore. And so, you know, you've referenced a couple of interactions where sounds like you were sort of touched unexpectedly. Maybe Mr. Schaefer's intent was to help, but your response has been to please don't touch me. Can you speak a little bit to, if you recall, the context of you saying that? Was that, don't touch me, I don't want to be touched ever? Or was it, you know, I don't need help right now, I'm good? If you can tell that distinction, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay. There was an incident last time my son visited me from New York, on the corner, the northeast corner of Fairview and Legion. I was waiting for traffic, and the only way I know when there's traffic is I listen for it. And there's 14 intersections between my house and the gym, so I've become pretty adequate. Although whatever it is, but and my son drove by me. He said, "Hey, Dad," and so I said, "Go on home, go on to the house. I'll meet you over there." And so then I started taking off to walk across the street. I didn't hear him pull up on Fairview and stop at Legion. But next thing I know, I'm getting grabbed from behind. I said, "Dude, I do this every single day. I've got this. Get off me."
So if I can pause right
Yes.
there. So Mr. Schaefer, I saw you had quite a reaction to that. Can you tell
I have
me what's your
never,
perspective of
in the
things like that?
store, anytime I'm around Mike, I always say, Mike, it's Rob. I always identify myself to him all the time. If he's in a situation where I think he's going to get hurt, I'll say, stop first. I'll say, stop, Mike. It's Rob, I'm coming over. I never have ever approached it because I respect this man. I know what his training is, and I would be a fool to grab somebody with that kind of training because he could snap me like a twig, and I know it. So I would never do that, never, out of respect
Do you
for what
announce
he
yourself?
knows.
Do you announce yourself and then kind of hold him, or do you?
I
announce yourself and
always
wait for
acknowledge
him
myself.
to-
I come gently, grab his arm and bring him back into a safe place where he knows where he's at, so he can proceed home. All the time.
But hang on. Do you, I just want to make sure I'm clear. Is what the practice that you announce yourself
Yes,
and then, in your view, sort of touch him gently? to
very
help?
gently.
So
I'm always
do you announce
respectful.
yourself and wait for him to
Yes,
give you? Well, so there's
Always
those are
very
two different things.
gentle. He's so respectful, just like MB with. Why Streamlabs? Oh my God! Did I turn it off? I fucking did. Okay, that one might be on me. No, maybe. I'm so sorry. Do. I'm so sorry. I think it's my fault when I was fixing the chat. Not you this time, Streamlabs, but thank you, MB. Also, this is sort of wild. I completely forget what he was just saying, but I was just like, what the actual fuck? Yeah, sticker dude. Sunglasses perpetually fall onto video game controllers' proud face, MB. Please, call it what it is. I love it. Thank you so much.
In your view, sort of touch him gently. to
very
help.
gently.
So
I'm always
announce
respectful.
yourself and wait for him to
Yes,
give you? Well, so those are two different things. Do you wait for him to tell you it's okay, or do you sort of, in your view, again, gently, but touch him?
when
without
I
doing-
acknowledge that it's me,
Yeah.
then I touch him.
Okay.
And he's okay. And he always
Okay.
thanks me every time
All right.
when I get him back in the safe zone.
Okay.
On the road, when he's out running around, I have seen him in my car. I never stop my car and get out of my car to
Where's the
grab
safe
him.
zone?
I would never do that. Like I said, I'd be foolish to do that. This man was number
Right.
one
Nope, okay, I
mixed
understand. All right,
martial artist.
There's one more part of the petition I want to ask about. Mr. Rike, you also claim that Mr. Schaefer has gone into your home without permission. Can you speak to that?
Well, he might not see it as not permission, but I didn't, someone knocked on my door and I yelled, "Who is it?" Somebody, and they knocked again. He yelled, and I heard someone saying something, but I didn't know who it is. And so he came in. Okay, instead of opening the door and saying it's Rob, he just opened the door and came in and said that he came to help me clean my fridge. And I told him no, no. I said, you need, I know, I told him, I didn't tell him you need to do anything. I told him I've got it covered. That's all I said to him. And he said something else that, oh, Cynthia sent him over to see my, Cynthia's the owner of the complex, to help me clean my fridge. I said, I got it covered. Now, Cynthia knows, because I've mentioned it several times in several different settings, that because someone actually said to me one day when we were having this little sit down in my court, "You do so well for a blind man." And I said, well, you'd think so. But for some reason, whenever Rob's around, I can't take another step without him grabbing me and helping me out. Because I don't make a whole lot of mistakes. I mean, my cane guides me through a lot. And I've been ran over. I've had my feet ran over. I've had my cane ran over, but I haven't been hit by cars or anything like that. I manage. But for some reason, when Rob's around, I get grabbed. And no, he does not announce his name every time he comes up and grabs me. At the store, I didn't know until after I was grabbed that it was him, because I was ready to yell, "Someone call 911." Because somebody was grabbing me. And then after he grabbed me, he started talking. I knew who it was. And I told him, let go of my cane, let go of me, and don't touch me. Same thing at the at Northeast Corona. I've got this. I do this every day.
Like,
let
how
go of
often
me.
can you run into somebody
And,
like that and have to grab a blind
Now,
person?
Cynthia, I don't know why she sent him over, because she knows very well, she's admitted to me, that he grabs her children. And her children, who are adults, have both told Rob specifically that if he touches them one more time, they're going to punch him, because it's a habit of his. And Cynthia, the owner of the complex, has mentioned, oh, I got to tell you this too, but as mentioned, I forget where I was going with that.
All right, well,
But I wanted to tell you something, Your Honor. I'm in the process of moving. I'm moving because of this. And I didn't know, I got word a few days ago that I got accepted into a complex. And, but I still am more than think this is necessary, because I don't know the extent of his predatory behavior. And that's how I see it.
all right.
And, but I am moving, and I'm in the process of doing that. I'm paid up till the end of the month, but I'm in the process of moving at this time.
Okay.
I think that I should have told that right up front, but anyways.
Okay, oh, that's all right. So, you know, I see a couple more people want to contact. So I'm at the point where I think I'm ready though. So I'm gonna,
Can I say one more thing?
okay, one more thing.
This petition
Mhm.
that I've been living in this place for over 10 years, helping everybody inside of this village, has gotten me thrown out of there.
So you
I no longer
live-
have a place. I can't afford to get another place. This has conveniently gotten me out of here. So this petition that we're having, we don't even really need. And everything that's being stipulated is a false accusation. I never touched this man out when he's running around. I know he's capable. He's sometimes getting ready to fall off the curb, and I call his name, tell him to stop, and I tell him it's Rob. I've done this my entire time. I've helped disabled people in this building for
Mr.
years.
Schaefer, I understand what you're saying.
I-
So
I've
I
done
understand.
so,
I
I
understand
can't
what you're
believe
saying.
what's being said here in this
If,
courtroom.
if I could just say one thing, I'll keep it very short, okay?
Well,
Okay.
For years, I
no,
thought, Jen.
Okay.
it's, no,
Okay.
for non-parties, it needs to be necessary material. But here's the thing, I am going to grant the order, but it's going to be a limited order in that you're just not going to be allowed to
Another
have any
medium
direct
D.
communication with him. That's it. Okay, it's not going to affect where you live. It's not, if you're not living together at all or anywhere near each other and you don't have reason to see each other, there shouldn't be any reason for this order to affect your life whatsoever. All right, but you know, I think that it's Mr. Rika has met his burden of, you know, more likely than not, it sounds like he's asked not to be touched in a way that I think, based on what I'm hearing, has been sort of a clear communication not to be touched. This is not a comment on your intent. You know, you may have been intending to help, but
Come from my heart on everything. I
right,
do.
then I'm not commenting on that, but what I'm looking at is, you know, has there been communication from Mr. Rika to you that he doesn't want to be touched at all, even if you feel he might be in danger or something like that? And if, you know, but then if that behavior has continued since that clear communication, and I based on what I'm hearing, I think Mr. Rika has met that burden, and what he's telling me on, you know, sort of how it's affected his you know, his leaving and sort of his day-to-day life. You know, it seems to me that that seems to have caused him some substantial emotional distress. You may vehemently disagree with that and think it's an irrational way to have responded, but I do think that that is how he's responded here, and that's how he's taken that interaction. So again, this is going to be an order that's just protective of him and communication directly with him. No, you know, no restrictions on your ability to live anywhere. It's just to not contact him.
The damage has already been done by the filing anyhow, because I don't, I'm in the street.
Well, and this, again, this will not, this is just between you, the two of you, nothing about where to live or anything of that nature. All right.
And that he was, we scripture. I mean, for Lord's
And the,
sake,
and the,
I
and
cannot
the
believe
relationship
this.
has changed, it sounds
I
like.
can't
So,
believe this.
so I'll be entering an order later today. But again, that's going to be just have no contact directly or indirectly with Mr. Rika. And that's the extent of the order. But that's going to go into effect later today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any questions from either of you?
No.
All right, so I'll ask Mr. Rika if you and your family want to stay, just so we don't have
Yeah.
folks leaving at the same time. We'll do that.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, thanks, Mr. Schaefer.
You told me to stay. Yeah, stand up then.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Sure, I'll see you at the gym.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow. What an evening. What cases. What joy. Guess what? We'll be back around the same time tomorrow. Actually, earlier tomorrow. Earlier, the blind leading the blind. I thought the other guy was blind. He's not blind, but he was blinded by the light. No, he was blinded by the lawsuit. Tomorrow shall be around between probably like 3 o'clock Pacific. Okay, yeah, the gym bros are back in business. Blind guy back at the YMCA. What a crazy day in Thurston County. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am so glad to have seen you. If you didn't catch it last night, we did a members only, so you can go back and watch that if you're a member, that is. In the meantime, though, do me a favor, remember that I love you and I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.
Ways down and